Hello and welcome to another episode of Goa365 Story Behind the Story. I am Glenn Costa and today I have a quite a varied panel on our discussion which is going to be on highways. Now the central government has been building highways at quite a pace all over India, and one of the planks of the center is on the development. This development is happening in Goa. Highways are being built in Goa and in other states, in North India and everywhere. Now in Goa we have been cribbing about highways, saying that Arey Baba, there are no proper signages, then there are rumblers on the highways, even on the bridges, state of the art bridges. Then there are the service roads are not existing, there is road widening because the highways are going through villages, a lot of compromises. So some of our own people had gone for a holiday to the north. So when they came back, they were talking about highways. So now highways are same, the people who are making the highways are same, but let's try and see if there's any different and how we can improve our highways and what are the good points, bad points of the highways in Goa vis-a-vis what's happening in the north. So let me, without taking too much of time, let me introduce our panel, starting off with Subhashish Bab Goekar, journalist. He's with us. Subhashish Bab, welcome to our show. Anish Bab Naik from the RG. RG is known as Uzo, so hopefully we will have some Uzo today. Anish Bab, welcome to our. You are North Goa, right?
Correct, yeah.
North Goa. Anish Bab, welcome to our show. Third is an architect by profession, Talula Bai De Silva. Talula ma'am, welcome to our show. Fourth is, obviously we need a flavor, a political flavor. RG is there, no doubt, but they are sort of, activist politicians. So now hardcore politician, somebody from the north, which has faced a lot of problems in Perne highways. Now also Boma is picking up some issues. Vijay Bab BK from the Congress. Vijay Bab, welcome to our show. So Subhashish, now since you are the sort of the spark to all this should tell us exactly what. Now we've been, Goa365 has been doing lots of stories on highways and all in Goa, and now you've travelled. What's the difference? Is it so stark? Is it subtle? What is it?
It's a major difference. I mean, those are what you would call an actual highway or an expressway. It's like a river flowing, and you either just join the flow or you move out of the flow. There's nothing stopping the flow, there is no interruption, there is no distraction, there's nothing for you. So we had to cover a distance of about 3 to 400 kilometers along these highways, and it barely took us like 4-5 hours. Because the speed limits there itself are 90 to 100 throughout. And this does not decrease when you're coming close to a town or a city. It basically bypasses the city or it goes above the city. So you have no, intersection, you never see a signal along the entire highway. So the beauty of it was, though we were driving such a long distance, it did not feel like such a long distance driving. Like when you say Goa to Bombay, you're going by bus, you think like, it's a 12-15 hour journey and twisting, winding roads and junctions and cities. There it was, we got in the car, we drove straight. In 4 to 5 hours, we had covered a distance of 300-400 kilometers. And it's not just the fact that it's straight and uninterrupted, they are so beautifully made that in spite of you going at 90 to 100, the car feels secure. Now in Goa, when you think in respect to that, you go at even 40, 50, 60 along these highways, your car is bouncing. And the moment that happens, you are losing traction. Slight change of the steering wheel and you go into the wall or the divider. Which is why we also see a lot of these self-accidents. Now, I mean, if you are going on a highway that is slightly bendy and you're losing traction, obviously you're bound to jump lanes. And in this whole thing, you don't really have control of what you're doing at that point. Third is, the thing is that the policing there, you have patrol cars, you constantly see police patrolling the highways. So you don't have this rash and negligent driving that is happening as often in Goa.
Really?
Yeah, so you have tow trucks that are literally just plying down the road. So the moment there's an accident, you have a quick reaction force that comes. Because you literally see when you're driving, every few kilometers, there will be a police car either passing you or you will pass a police car. So you know that there is police movement along the highway. And every few, say 10, 20, 30 kilometers, there will be a tow truck either parked or moving around. Because these highways in the north, they are extensively used by these trucks and this agricultural movement of all these farm producers, plus military's convoys also are frequenting along these highways. So looking at that and comparing it to Goa, our Goan highways look like state roads that you normally see in cities. You have junctions every now and then, you have traffic jams in between, then you have speed breakers suddenly, then you have rumblers. Now rumblers also over there, they have a very fine strip of rumblers. Now their purpose is not to slow you down. It is to make sure that you're not sleeping while driving. It just gives a slight vibration that, okay, I'm on the road. In Goa, rumblers, we've had issues, like we've covered stories in Goa, where in the south, the rumblers are so big that ambulances and people, like pregnant women going on these highways, had issues because they were so big and so deep. That is not the purpose of rumblers. So they're just to give you the slight feeling that, to check whether you're awake or not. So you react slightly, you see the steering wheel vibrate a little bit. That's it. So these are some of the major differences we can see, like from the north to the highways we have in Goa.
Let's get into more details. Anish Bab, आता सुभाशिश कितें म्हणटालो ते हायवेचे उलयतात. नाव वी आर ऑल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट आमचे हायवेज कॉम्प्रोमायज जाता सगळ्याक. लायक दे गो थ्रू हावजीस, दे गो थ्रू विलेजीस. दॅट इज एन इश्यू दॅट यू ऑल हॅव टेकन अप, वी हॅव ऑल्सो टेकन अप इन मोमा. कितें म्हण वॉट इज फायदो कितें तुमी सांगा.
आता जशें सुभाशीश बाबान सांगलें, ही मेन्शन द रोड्स इन द नॉर्थ. आता एज अ गोंयकार म्हणून जेन्ना आमी आयकता, जावं आमचे गोंयकार जे चडशे गोंय आउट ऑफ गोवा, आउट ऑफ स्टेट ट्रॅव्हल करना, त्याच्या खातीर एक जस्ट एक ड्रीम कशी अशें आनी आसा काय म्हणून जस्ट आता कोण गेला तेणी एक्सपिरियन्स केला म्हणून ताका खबर आहा एक्चुअली दीस कायंड ऑफ रोड्स डू एक्झिस्ट इन इंडिया म्हणून. आनी वी बींग अ पार्ट ऑफ द सेम कंट्री, आमच्या हांगा हायवेची कितें परिस्थिती जाला ती सगळ्यांक खबर आसतलें हांगा. आता एक एक्झाम्पल घेवपाचो म्हटल्यार आता म्हापसा जो आतां आमचे पेडॅम जंक्शन, द मोस्ट कॉन्ट्रोवर्शियल जंक्शन. कितकेशेच एक्सिडेंट विडियोज जाले थंय, एक्टिविस्टांनी हे केले, रिपोर्टर्स येयले, कितकेशेच रिपोर्ट जाले. विजय बाबाकूय खबर आसतलें ते म्हापसाचेर. सो थंय 13 रोड्स आर कनेक्टिंग ऑन दॅट मेन हायवे. तो आता हायवे म्हणपाचो, ताका इंटरनल रोड म्हणपाचो, फुटपाथ म्हणपाचो, कितें म्हणपाचो तें कांय कळना. आतां ते पयलीं तेंच्यांनी सिग्नल्स घातले, बंद केले, परत घातले, ते पुलीस बाबडे दीस रात रावताले थंय. तर कितें. सो हे आमचे लेवल जे आमचे हायवेज, आमी हायवेज म्हणटा ते. आनी ते आनी रायटली एज यू पॉयंटेड आउट, आतां वेन एवर यू ड्रायव्ह थ्रू दीस हायवेज, even if you are driving at around 40-50, तुका you don't get it confidence येना तुका की that you can go through this. म्हणजे आता even I have driven outside Goa, बाकीचे आमचे जे बाकीचे हायवेज आमचे तेका even if you on 70-80 kilometers per hour, so you get that confidence. म्हणजे तुका भंय दिसना. you don't even come to know when you are covering about 200-250 kilometers. पण हांगा तुका म्हापसासून पणजे येतात म्हटल्यार तुका कितें आता हायवेचेर ते आमकां सगळ्यांक खबर आसा. मदींत खंय कोण खणटा, मदींत खंय ते तेणी सांगला तशें रमलर्स. सो अशें काय कळना ते. आता गव्हर्मेंट जो इतको इन्वेस्ट करता, आता येदे व्हडले प्रोजेक्ट्स हाडटा म्हणटा, हायवेज हाडटा, आदी हो जो आता जे आमचे टॅक्स पेयराचो जो पयशे लागता हेका, आदीच रियली बिल्ड फॉर प्रॉपर कॉज, म्हणजे ते हायवे खातीरूच जाता काय हे सगळे. दीस इज मेनली बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल सबस्टँडर्ड काम, सगळे सबस्टँडर्ड हांगा जाता. आनी मॉनिटरींग सारकें जायना, इन्स्पेक्शन कितकेच फावटी मागीर जाता ते, कोणी कंप्लेंट केली काय, बट वॉट इज द आउटकम. अगेन ते पॅच वर्क जाले, परत एंड ऑफ द डे द लोकल्स हॅव टू सफर, द पीपल हॅव टू सफर. आता ह्या एप्रिलानूच जर पळयत आमी नियरली 26 एक्सिडेंट्स, फेटल एक्सिडेंट्स आमी पळयले विदीन अ स्पॅन ऑफ 1 month. सो दिस इज वॉट आय हॅव टू से रिगार्ड दिस गोवन हायवे.
Actually, it's surprising now, Talula, you are an architect, you are a technical person, but it's very surprising. The people who are doing the highways in North are doing the highways in Goa. Why such a stark difference, and what should actually technically be done for our highways to be the way highways are? Distance is, no compromise on distance. Suppose why go through a village? You go up. So then the village roads can be used the way, I don't know, I feel. So because it's like you travel in South Goa, every 100 meters there's a cut. How can you travel on such a highway? On our bridges there are rumblers, which I don't know, I don't understand. As a technical person, what do you feel? Why is this happening? What is he's talking about supervision, but it's the same company, it's the MORT which is handling both there and here. What do you feel? And what do we need here in Goa?
So I've been traveling quite a bit because I drive to sites. So a lot of work is in Kudal and Maharashtra, and in the south I've gone right up to Wayanad. Now there is definitely substandard work because you can see that the quality is compromised. Everybody talks about high corruption, that a lot of money is being paid to get the contract, and if that is the scenario, then contractors get away with saying that there's no enough money to do good quality work. I think it's a lame excuse. I wonder whether some of the material that is supposed to be put in the highways is going into some of our constituencies and areas of Panjim, because recently they've been tarred, right, the periphery of the highway. So I don't know whether this material is going there. But a lot of good design does make a difference. A lot of monitoring and accountability makes a difference, and that is why we are seeing that there is a compromise. Now, ani ek mandlar, if you look at Goa is a very small state compared to, let's say, other states, and therefore at every 50 or few kilometers you have a village, and there is lot of interconnections, crossovers from those villages, and that is why we have this problem at certain junctions where where people have also possibly insisted that there needs to be a crossover. If you look at the situation where there are accidents in Goa, right, what happens, even if it is let's say my fault, I immediately call a politician. So my question back to you is, maybe there is a lot of political pressure and pressure from people to say that at every junction we need to have an access across for convenience.
Agreed. I agree with you, but technically villages are everywhere in India. It's not only in Goa. It's everywhere. Wherever you go to Maharashtra, you go to North, you go to wherever, there are always. But I have never seen, like, this is a highway and I have never seen a cut like straight in. It's a design issue. It's nothing to do with forget. And we are not, the Goa state government is not doing this. So why only in Goa it is such an issue?
Right.
Now the state government has got so much of influence that it can influence the central government to make bad or unscientific road. There are no service roads. There are no proper signages. See, you drive on a cement road in Goa, you'll find the car rattling.
Yes.
You drive on a tar road, it's okay.
It's okay.
So these are basically technical issues.
There are certain standards. There are certain in the curve.
Why in Goa
in
is
the
not being
slope.
followed? You feel?
I think one is maybe stakeholder feedback and consultations, where certain amount of feedback is given.
Center.
It doesn't go to the center. Consultations are not done with public participation. That could be one of the problems. And in terms of technicalities, there are standards that they have to be. We have a TCP, we have a PDA that looks at whether laws and regulations have been followed. Similarly, there seems to be an oversight of all of that. And I think the key is quality. We are unable to keep up the quality. 20 years ago, you look at the ISO and the mixes for cement ratios. Today we are using double the material, double the reinforcement, but the quality is so substandard, and that is simply because there is no monitoring, no checks and no accountability.
Okay. Bikiba, before I get to you, I want to go in for a short break. Keep watching and see you on the other side. Welcome back. Vijay bhai, vata आम्ही ऐकला. We spoke to a person who's gone to North Goa. We have spoken to a person who's travelled in Goa and outside, and we have spoken to a technical person. Now, as a political person, North Goa, you all have also, Congress is also running a lot of states. Fine. In BJP is running state, most states, but this is a central thing. आता माका कितें in North आम्ही Delhi, UP सगळे कितेंय म्हणटा, हे not good. Goa is the state, model state. But हे करूंक शकता आणि आम्ही करूंक शकना. Now this is Subhashan काय सांगना तुमका about the way the infrastructure and all is built in the north along the highway. That will come. That is next. आमचे कडे जायना आणि त्यांचे कडे जाता. पहिले दिल्ली ऑलरेडी असा का आम्ही दिल्लीवाल्याने याला, but at least we cannot get the same quality of roads. See, why? We are second class citizens in Goa? That the north has got such big huge infrastructure and Goans don't have infrastructure? Why are we second class citizens? Compared to whom?
तुम्ही म्हणटले की पॉलिटिकल म्हटल्या बरोबर हांव गव्हर्मेंटाचेरूच बट इट इज
No, I'm not talking about all governments. So whatever
इट इज गव्हर्मेंट ड्युटी. आता जशें तेंच्यांनी म्हटलें की एव्हरीवेअर इज अ कॉम्प्रोमायज आणि करप्शन लेवल इज टू हाय.
Corruption in Goa, but what about corruption in North?
नो आमी नॉर्थाचे उलयना, आमी गोंयकाराचेच आतां आमी रोडाचे आमीच उलया, आमच्या गोंयचे उलया. आतां आमी पळयता की एक तरी गव्हर्मेंट हो न्हिदलेलो आसा आनी आमी पळयता PWT मिनिस्टर्स आनी PWT दोन डिपार्टमेंटाक आमी जबाबदारी दवरपा जाय, PWP आनी आमचे पुलीस, कळ्ळें. आतां जशें हेंच्यांनी म्हटलें नॉर्थाक वयताना स्मूथ रोड आहा, कळ्ळें न्हू. आतां आमी पयला आमचे जे टॅक्निकल आमी जेन्ना तुमी उलयताले पळय आतां ते टॅक्निकलाचे मॉनिटरींग हांगा मॅनेजमेंट सारकें जायना, जायत ना. फॉर एग्जाम्पल समज आमी एक म्हापसा रोड बांदता जाल्यार थंयली म्हापसाची पंचायत इंजिनियर सगळे आसात, ते सगळे न्हिदलेले आसता, ते पळयत ना. थंय रोड करतना पळयना, रोडा उपरांत ते रिस्टोरेशन केलां जाल्यार पळयना, कांयच करिनात. म्हणजे ती ऑथॉरिटीक पळयतलो कोण? म्हणजे एज अ गव्हर्मेंट न्हिदला. हायवे तूं बांदूंक दिलो तो बांदता, आपल्या शेवटी तो बिजनस न्हू, हायवेवालो आपलो बांदतलो हे हायवे, तूं जर ताका मॉनिटरींग करना. आतां म्हाजे कडेन एक केस आसा हांगार, सो नॅशनल हायवे ऑथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया, सो रोड सेफ्टी ऑडिट म्हणून आसता, आमच्या गोंयचे जाल्या काय?
येस आय डोंट नो,
जावना,
नो आयडिया.
आतां एक केस हितून नॅशनल हायवे 65 आहा, विजयवाडा टू हैदराबाद, तेंच्यांनी सेफ्टी मेजर्स कीज दिल्या. आमच्या गव्हर्मेंटान इतले आमचे हायवे जाले जाल्यार टॅक्निकल ऑडिट कित्याक जावना? टॅक्निकल ऑडिट जाय जाल्यार सगळे करप्शनान सगळे बुडलेले येतले, भायर येतले. जशें आमी म्हापसाचें म्हटलें पळय, एकूच म्हापसा रोड जो 11 हेका डिवायड जाता आनी दोंगर जंक्शन एक्चुअली थंयसर एक दोंगर कशें वयर आसले, थंय वयरसून ते डायरेक्ट वचून तुमी हेका बसकड्या जंक्शना पावले सगळे जावपाचे. पण ते कोण पळयतलो? ते पळयल्ले ना. सेकंड थिंग, हांव आयच्या आतां रोड बांदले सगळे जाले, ताका खुबशे म्हणजे हांवें पळयल्या प्रमाणे खुबशे टॅक्निकल प्रॉब्लम्स आहा. जंपींग टेस्ट म्हणून आसता, जशें तेणी म्हटलें की आपूण गाडी चलयल्या उपरांत आपल्याक सारके गाडी चलयल्या उपरांत स्मूथ वचोंक जाय, आनी हे नॅशनल हायवे ऑथॉरिटीन रुल्स केल्या. हांगा आमचे जंपींग म्हणजे हांगा सर्कस जाल्या, खंयसर रोड हायवे सोंपलो आनी खंयचो रोड जॉयन जालो तो आमकां खबर ना, सिग्नल्स ना, झाडां वाडलेलीं आसा आनी कितें आसा. आमचे गोंयचे जे विलेजीस आसात आनी जे आमचे शेतां वाटा आहा ती सगळी काबार करून उडयल्ली आसा ह्या हायवेन. आमी म्हणटा डेव्हलपमेंटाच्या नांवार आमकां आमचे गोंय पिड्यार केल्ले नाका. सेकंड थिंग, आमी जेन्ना हे दोनूय मेजर इश्यू जेन्ना आमी पळयता 12 वर्सां चीफ मिनिस्टराचे 2 पोर्टफोलियो तिणी आतां घेतल्या. लास्ट नोव्हेंबराक तिणी सांगलेले, लास्ट नोव्हेंबर खंयचो आतां तो म्हाका खबर ना, इलेक्शन येता म्हणटलो आपूण इलेक्शन येयल्या उपरांत रस्ते सारके करतलो खबर ना. लास्ट नोव्हेंबर 2024 सांगलेलें की नोव्हेंबर पर्यंत आमचे रोड सारके चकाचक जातले, आपूण फील करतलो म्हणून. आतां नोव्हेंबर दुसरो येवपाक जालो. आमी आतां म्हणटा आयचो रिपोर्ट आसा, हे 26 लोक एका म्हयन्यान मेल्यात, कळ्ळें. आतां ताका तेची जबाबदारी कोण घेतलो? हे नोव्हेंबराचे रोड अजून रिपेर जावकूच ना. जे केबलिंग आनी आमचे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अंडरग्रावंड जाता पळय, जी ऑथॉरिटी मेन म्हणजे टॅक्निकल ऑथॉरिटी इज फेल. कित्याक ज्या जाग्यार समज आपूण खणटा जाल्यार त्या जाग्यार पंचायत नाल्यार NOC दिता, परत रिस्टोर करपाक जाय. रिस्टोर जायना, थंयसर लोकांचे एक्सिडंट जाता, थंयसर मरता. दुसरी गजाल, आमी पुलीस आमी म्हणटा की लास्ट 4-5 म्हयन्या पयलीं चीफ मिनिस्टरान सांगलें की PI आनी PSI तालाव दितलो म्हणून. बट हय बरी गजाल आहा, कित्याक बाकीचे जे खुबशे करप्शन वाडलेले न्हू, सगळे जाण आपले बॅगा भरपाक लागलेले, सो बरी गजाल आहा. मात त्याच्या उपरांत PC आनी कॉन्स्टेबल आसा तेंची आयज आमकां गरज आसा. एक्चुअली पळोवंक गेल्यार म्हापसा टू कोकेरो जंक्शन आनी तेच्या फुडें, कित्याक आयज आमी कितले पयशे पुलीस पळयता थंयसर, 2 नाल्यार 3. तेणी म्हटलें पळय हायवेक आसतना पुलीस भोंवत आसता, आमकां एकूय गाडी दिसना. पुलीस आमचे खंय सिटीनी भोंवतात, ते नवे गाडयो दिल्या पळय तितून. आनी PC आनी हे कॉन्स्टेबल आहा ते कितें करता आयज तो प्रश्न आहा. घरा आपल्या हे करतात काय मंत्र्यांच्या घराची कामां करतात
Okay.
ते रोडार आसपाक जाय
Yeah, okay.
ते रोडार आसपाक जाय आयज
Yeah.
पर्वरच्या रोडार दिसपाक जाय थंयसर की बाबा आयज येता आसतना पर्वरी जर तुमी जंक्शन गिरीच्या जंक्शनार पळयल्यार प्रत्येक जाणांक त्या 200 मिटराचेर अर्देवर काडचें पडटा थंय पुलीस ना
But that is a highway.
हायवे
It is
बांदता
part of
सध्या
the
न्हू
highway.
That's a highway, right?
हय सध्या
That's a-
बांदता थंयसर
No, but
आमकां
that-
जाय न्हू
Okay. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, that is two things. Now, Bigeva, I'll come back to you. But Subhashish, now we were talking about highways, right? So the difference, the stark difference between Goa highways and the highways in other parts. I'm not saying all, but many parts, especially Goa. Now we are supposed to be even GDP and like very prosperous and everything. All the politicians talk about that. People also talk. Absolutely, we agree. Goa is the best. Then why are our highways worse than the highways in North Goa? We Goans curse these people from North. I'm not going to bring out the states or this somebody, but how is it their highways are better than ours? And you tell us what is the difference? The infrastructure on the road. Tell the audience what is the difference among the highways in North India and in Goa. And let Goans be so proud of our highways after that, no? Please.
No, I mean, in Goa, like when a new KFC opens or a McDonald's or whatever these new chains are open, we get excited we feel like we're moving on to like a metro city. But if you go to a normal highway along this Delhi Chandigarh, they have this concept of dhabas. Now the old concept of dhabas would be like
Carts,
yeah, your cart is there,
Chai
one nice
pie.
Punjabi uncle would be there making you parathas and chole and stuff like that. But today the concept of dhabas on the highway is you basically have sort of malls along the entire highway. Every few like 10, 20, even 15 kilometers, you'll find a big dhaba. Now inside that dhaba, you will get McDonald's, Subway, KFC. You'll have restaurants
On the highways?
Along the highways, and it's not like you just leave the highway and you go into these malls. You have service roads before this thing comes up. You have signboards that say rest stop in 200 meters, 100 meters, 50 meters, so you know where to take the turn. Like unlike in Goa, like even when you're going to a GMC, the board to GMC will come right at the turn. So if you are not a local, you don't know when that turn is going to come up. Then you have this problem where people stop on the middle of the highway and they reverse on the middle of the highway because they have missed that turn. So over there, even the signages. Now if we want to exit the expressway or the highway and we want to enter another city, before we are even anywhere close, the signboards start coming up. Okay, you want to go, say, if you are going to Chandigarh, now on the way you find a city called Ambala. So to go to Ambala, you will have a signage that says you have to take the left. Now this will come up several kilometers before. You move on another 1 kilometer before, 500 meters before, 10 meters before, and then the board will come that this is the left. So you are very well aware, you're already on the left side of the highway. That is one thing. Then after that, you have the speed cameras. Now I thought it would be a nightmare to drive on these highways because we see a lot of tourists coming here from the north and they're over speeding and they're drinking and driving. So one would assume it's really much worse
Bad
there.
there, yeah.
But I was surprised those roads are more disciplined than what we see in Goa. They literally have speed limit boards along every few hundred meters telling you what is the speed limit, though it stays the same along the entire stretch. And you have gantries. Now these gantries have a whole array of cameras. So now if you are overspeeding, you are caught on the camera, your challan is already gone to your house. They had started this in Goa at Mirse Circle. I don't know what happened to it after that. For a few days probably it worked. But over there it
was stopped by who, I don't know. Now whoever is in charge, it didn't work. No, our cameras are very expensive. 1 crore per traffic camera, and they don't work. That I'll bring Anish on, but I'm just telling you.
No, but so it's like the people are also afraid that they will be penalized. So you don't find anyone overspeeding. You will find big luxury cars like BMWs, Mercedes plying on those roads, but no one is overspeeding. Whether I'm in a 800 or that person is in a Mercedes, will be going at the same speed on that highway. But it is that disciplined, and it's not even that. You have 3 lanes. Now the entire highway is 3 lanes. You have 3 lanes, and there are signboards depicting which kind of vehicle uses which lane.
I see.
They are even that specific. So bikes cannot use the other 2 lanes. Bikes are restricted to their bike lane. Trucks cannot move after the first lane unless they are overtaking. Second lane is for cars and SUVs. The last lane is for high-speed cars. So even if you are caught, your camera is likely to click that photo also and show that you are not in the right lane that you are supposed to be in. Like in Goa, you'll find these big container trucks using whichever side they like. One side is smooth,
Fast
they will
lane,
be on
they'll
that
be
side.
going on the fast lane, these trucks and all, which
Yeah.
is like really, and bikes you'll find on the fast lane. That's truly amazing. I just want to ask one question to Goa, not Goans, to Goa. Is Goa a second class place compared to wherever people drive. Goa, we say, now this is why when the starting of, I will start with Anish, because Anish, RG, Uzo, Goa, for Goa. Are we second class? That the union government is making such bad roads here without any discipline or Goan कांयच येना respect ना गोंयकारांक गोंया कांयच respect ना that आमी वसले रस्ते आमी जोलोवपाची गाडी आनी okay, hold this thought. This is the end of this first part of this episode on highways. So I don't think it's the end. We will be continuing this discussion on the second part. Keep watching. Me, Glenn Costa, on Story Behind the Story.